I'm Scott Stevens, president of the Rotary Club of Harrisburg. I joined Rotary over 8 years ago because I believe in service, membership, and giving back to the community. Rotary Club of Harrisburg is the number 23rd club in the entire world. We have over 100 members and we've been around for over 100 years. We're part of Rotary International, which has over 1.4 million members, all seeking to do good in the world. If you'd like to learn more, please check us out on the socials and learn more at hbgrotary.org. Thanks.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Community Service Award. You know, next to Rotarian of the Year, this is probably one of our more prestigious awards. And I couldn't think of anyone better to introduce our winner this year than Alex. Come on up.
Hi, my name is Alex Reber, and I have the distinct pleasure of serving as the co-chair of the Environmental Committee for our Rotary Club with Char. But you know, the thing about Char and a community service is I think about all the ways I got to know Char. That was, well, it's a great photo. She does love wine.
Lives forever.
But one of the first way I met Char was when I was an intern here in 2006, and she was hosting a fundraiser as a benefit. And then I came across her again when I was on a committee for the LGBT Center for a fundraiser where she had donated things to our VIP bag. And then I hit her up to host a cocktail reception for another nonprofit later on, a few years later. And then we kind of knew each other a little bit and in passing. And then she retired and we kept popping up at different like charitable things together. And she was talking to me about what she wanted to do. And she'd done a lot in the nonprofit space for the environmental justice. And she was the board chair at Penn Future, which is a wonderful nonprofit that has done a lot of statewide work. She was involved with climate change work with Al Gore's group. You know, she just, on Thursday night, she was helping to organize an event for the Community Checkup Center, which is a great clinic in South Harrisburg, along with, of course, Chris Baldridge and Holly Leggett, which was fantastic, that raised 6 figures. So this is who she is. But the real cool thing about her, and she's on the board here at Rotary as well, but the coolest thing about Char, I think, and the best word I could come up with to describe her is a force. And so the thing to know about Char is when she wants to do something, she's dogged and determined and will see it through. And so as we started working on this park project together in 15th and Swatera Street in South Allison Hill, she was dogged. And she knew what she wanted to do. Tri-County Community Action had a great plan. This was part of the plan. And she said, we can help make this reality. And she ran into me after a Rotary meeting. And she said, oh, I just had a meeting with the Redevelopment Authority and they own the land and we can work with them. And I said, Char, I'm the treasurer of the Redevelopment Authority. And so then we kind of like hooked up and really engaged in this together. And I kind of helped her with some of the government things and kept reminding her that we need to tame our expectations. Things are a little slower than in business where you can just do things right away. The other day she said, I'm ready to go protest if we don't get what we want right away. And I said, I'll go, but let's wait a couple weeks and maybe we'll get it there. We got there, and so things can just be slower in government than they are in business. But, the most beautiful thing about this project to me is whenever we're up there, the people come to Char and they say, we've had so many people come and say, we're going to do something here, and no one's ever done it. And now we believe that it's actually going to happen because of you. And that's who Char is. And I couldn't think of a better, more deserving person for this. She's even gotten active in the South Allison Hill Neighborhood Association and goes to their meetings because she's so connected to this project and the people in this community. And there's no one who deserves this award more than Char. So thank you so much.
25 award winner, Char Magaro.
How are you? All right. You knocked it out of the park. I'm telling you, don't do if you want to do anything, you don't hire, you get together with him because he was right, when it comes to government or the city or whatever, it's like, get on it, will you, Alex? So thank you for that. When Brian called me, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago and said, hey, you've been nominated for the Community Service Award or what, and I'm like, I was thinking that was either a long happy hour with you guys, or what drugs, I said, what drugs were you guys on? And that's actually a good segue for me to explain what service is for me. So I hope I don't offend these young minds over there, but um, I'm a child of the '60s, and the Beatles, and all kinds of good things, and I also was a philosophy major, so all those things kind of came together in 1972. And I was working on a independent study for my philosophy degree, and it was God is Love. And, because that's kind of like, I don't know, I thought it was a cool topic. But when I started reading about all the different religions of the world, they were kind of talking about the same thing, and it was about a consciousness. And I had a little bit of that experience with some LSD infused states of nirvana, and I was going for it. So I, no, it's true. And so I had one semester left for college, and I banged out that independent study, but it piqued my interest. So I had one semester left, and I ended up bagging that, and I went to India in the foothills of the Himalayas, on the Ganges there, in an ashram. And there, it all kind of connected to me, what I was looking for. But, and then, I leave there, and I have, there's three things you're supposed to do. And you're supposed to listen to discourse and meditate and do service. Well, I was pretty good at, the discourse and meditation thing for about 10 years, but the service thing never popped up. And it kind of popped up right about the time when the me generation, Ronald Reagan, success is the accumulation of wealth and possessions. You all remember that. That's when there was like, the rich and famous on TV and the McMansions and all that. Well, somehow that all collided with this philosophical brain. And I ended up starting to get more political, I guess. And, to me, that doesn't work because people will want more things, and there's only a limited amount of natural resources and an expanding population. So all that, kind of like swirled around in my head, and I started putting pieces together and connecting with people. And I just wasn't, all of a sudden, everything clicked in. And it clicked in one day. I was reading Jacques Cousteau, Calypso magazine, written for little kids. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but there I had gotten it for my daughter. And so this was probably 1986. And there was this tiny little article, and it said that the rainforests were the lungs of the world. And I'm like, holy heck, man, that's heavy. The lungs of the world. And somehow I was drawn to do something. That's when I started my first environmental group, Pennsylvania Rainforest Action, and then it went into the Earth Day Coalition. And it was there in the rainforest that it all came together. That experience, LSD experience, that meditation experience, and being in an undisturbed rainforest and losing all sense of time and space. And I'm like, this is it, man. This is what I'm supposed to do. So I've been very fortunate. I've been very fortunate to do. And everybody comes to serving in their own way. It could be these armed services, it could be church, it could be all kinds of stuff. But this was my road to understanding what service is. Because when in service, I lose myself. I lose that ego part, that thing that's scared of everything. I lose myself in the light of that other person's eyes. I lose myself in the wonders of nature and that thing that all of us depend on. And plus I was lazy because I figure if I do the environment, it's every living thing depends on it. So I'm hitting all birds with one stone. So that's kind of my story. And I mean, I could list things I was on, but service is important. And it's best said by Mahatma Gandhi, who was one of my heroes. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Thank you.
Char, we do have something for you. If you want to come up here. We got you a nice certificate you can hang up and your community service award pin. Where? And join the ranks of some other, who else? Raise your hand. Who else has also won the community service award? Got Peggy, John, Joe, Sue Anthony. So you join the troops of high regard.
That's great. Yeah, who knew? You come for the lunch and the fellowship and you leave with the LSD and the meditation. It's wonderful. Wonderful.